Ready?
Mm-hmm.
And we are live.
Hi, guys.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Vane. Welcome back. Hi, unknown user.
Unknown user got it first, though, unfortunately for Vane.
Really?
Wait,
No, because
is it bottom to top or top to bottom?
I think it's bottom. No, I think it's top to.
Oh, it's top to
the
bottom?
first comment was
Okay.
Vane's.
So you're still champion there, Vane.
How are you
the
guys
first
doing? So, we can begin right away. I know we usually wait for people to join in because everyone gets the notification when we hit the go live button. But we can begin right now, so we don't waste any time.
Unknown user's another troll. Eating raw meat
okay.
right now. Oh, fun.
Vane and unknown user can
talk about us.
go at it, I guess. But here we are. We're going to do a couple of things today. We are reading through an article. We are debunking an article that came up, I don't know, in my Google search, Google feed.
Just like a few days ago, actually. Pretty recent.
An Ag Daily article. And we're also going to give you an update on Antonio, who's right here.
This
Guys,
boy.
we had quite a week. We didn't think we were going to make it through. Because get this. Okay, so last live stream, we told you guys that the following day, Antonio would be going into surgery to get his amputation.
Which was the plan.
That was the plan. We are calling it his makeover for purposes of Antonio's right here. And it is a makeover because we are not just getting rid of we didn't just get rid of his cancer, but he's getting a brand new leg. He's gonna get a brand new foot.
A brand new foot for you.
When he's all healed up. But so Monday, Brian drops off Antonio at the vet. Goes to work, and I'm here. And I'm sitting outside working on my laptop, and all the while I'm thinking, okay, he might be in surgery right now.
Yep.
9:30 a.m. I get a phone call, and I'm instantly sort of get this feeling of, oh my gosh, it's the vet. Why are they calling so soon? And this woman on the phone, she says, "Hi, unfortunately we have a bit of bad news for you both," and my heart just stopped. I started to say, oh no, please no. Like I thought, something happened in surgery.
Yep.
And she continues, "Unfortunately, the doctor is not going to be able to perform the surgery today. He's feeling very ill." I'm like,
it's not exactly how you start
the
conversation.
I literally said to her, I said, maybe because most surgeries are probably successful and it's not something that had crossed her mind. I hope that's the case, because I said, oh my gosh, I'm really sorry the doctor isn't feeling well, but that is not the worst news. And I was so angry after that. It took me a day to get through that shock. So we picked up Antonio, rescheduled him for Wednesday. We take in Antonio on Wednesday. The doctor calls me. The doctor himself called me at 10:30. And he's like, "Yeah, hi. Unfortunately, Antonio seems to have, he had an episode," and I'm like, what, huh? It turns out Antonio fainted. He fainted. It was the doctor thinks it was a vasovagal response. It was stress related. He probably recognized, his surroundings. He's like, I don't want to be here. Dogs get nervous when they go to the vet. Guess what? Roosters do too.
Roosters do too.
So even the doctor said it was probably a vasovagal response. And in humans, a vasovagal response is like if, those of us who are a little bit claustrophobic and we're in a very crowded, hot room and we start like yawning and yawning and yawning, and the more you yawn, the more that triggers the vasovagal nerve, which can induce a fainting episode.
I get it when, if I ever get an injection, well, sometimes with injections, and then sometimes like if you go to the doctor and they like look up your nose,
Yeah.
they like put that tool up your nose to look up your nose. When they pull that tool back out, sometimes I get a little like lightheaded, and I start to get hot, and I have to like kind of sit down, and that's like some people have like different little triggers that will like trigger your body to become really dizzy all of a sudden.
Yeah, and everyone
you get
has
hot and
different.
sweaty.
Everyone has different triggers, and it's interesting. It's amazing because it kind of what it really comes down to is the body doesn't. This is what my friend in college once told me, because she used to faint all the time, and it was really stress related for her. Like if she didn't want to go to work that day, for example, and she said to me that her mother told her that it was your body telling you that you didn't want to be where you were, which makes total sense. So I'm on the phone with him, and he's like, yeah, he collapsed in his cage, and we're giving him oxygen. He's alert. He's not unconscious. He's alert. He's just on his side. His eyes are open. We're giving him oxygen, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm on my way, and I call Brian, and I'm like, can you please get over there? And I have to get everything wrapped up over here. Doctor calls like 5 minutes later. He's like, I just wanted to give you peace of mind. Antonio is back up on his feet as if nothing ever happened. And, I am like, oh. But we went, and they brought us Antonio. And then at that point, we're like, oh my gosh, is this going to happen? How are we going to get through this?
Yeah.
So we contacted.
They said they wanted to wait at least 24 hours.
Yeah, and we were like, well, do we want to put him through this again in 24 hours? Why? No, should we just go through with it? But we don't want. The doctor said, no, take him home. Decompress him, and see if this happens again, because it had never happened to us. He's in perfect health, other than his foot having cancer. So. So what else? Oh yeah, by the way, Larry Cloys, I did get tested for COVID. We both got tested for COVID once before a game show.
That was not pleasant.
No.
That was not pleasant.
But that kind of thing doesn't bother me. Like I can actually watch someone draw my blood, or draw my blood rather.
I probably could watch,
I don't
but
mind.
Why?
It's just automatic. I just look at what they're doing.
You like those surgery shows.
I kind of do, but I would not be able to be a surgeon, if I watch it at a distance. But anyway, so we got Antonio, we brought him home, and then we were like, okay, now what? Like at first they rescheduled us for the following Monday, and we were like, oh my God, we have to wait a whole.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had also been doing bandage changes. And he needed them every few days because the cancer just kept growing.
Yeah. The more cancer grows, the more cancer grows, as you know, because cells exponentially multiply. So then they were like, well, we can squeeze you in Friday. Okay. Then they said they could do it Thursday. So we brought him in Thursday.
Which
before
is
that,
a day that the doctor doesn't come in on normally.
He doesn't come in on Thursdays usually, but he came in just to do Antonio's surgery, and then this little cow,
There was a calf.
Little calf that came in. But the other thing that we did was we contacted Christine Sang. She is an amazing animal communicator who we've been friends with for years, since I had Sweetie and Frisky, my cats who have now passed, our cats who passed. They were my cats first and then our cats. But Christine Sang, she lives in New York. If you are ever curious or want to know more about animal communication and animal communicators, let us know. She's wonderful. And I sent her a text message. I was like, can we do an emergency session? So this and this happened. Antonio fainted, and I want to know how he's feeling. And so she spoke to Antonio, and it turns out she said he was afraid. He was identifying with this he strongly identifies with his physical self, which was always obvious to us because he loves looking at his reflection. He stands in front of the fireplace and watches himself for hours sometimes. And I don't know, and we always like boost his
ego.
We're like, you're so handsome, because he's so handsome, and he knows it. And she actually said that he was afraid of he was afraid of losing, if he lost that part of himself. It was almost like he was trying to figure out how to still be him without
his leg,
without his
foot.
Without his foot. Without his foot, would he still be special? Without the pain, what animals...
I think it was related
it's really hard to convey this to you in words, but like animals sometimes might identify with their pain in a way
because
that
we're paying so much attention to that part of his body.
Yeah.
So like...
But also their relationship to pain is very interesting sometimes, because sometimes they wonder, well, if my foot is cancer, if my foot is pain, then am I pain? It's an identity crisis in a way. So she had a conversation with him, and so what we had to do was sort of rework the idea of the amputation not being something like a cancer that we're getting rid of or throwing in the trash, but more so you're getting a brand new shiny thing, like a brand new shiny toy, and we're gonna blink. She's like, think of Elton John shoes. And she's like, show him pictures, show him, like, even it doesn't have to be physical, just in your mind even. But we sat, we had like 20 minutes before we had to leave, and I sat him on my lap and I showed him, look, this is what we're gonna do. And we gave him a timeline, and we showed him pictures. I was like, we can even put stickers on it, and and you're gonna... So, I don't know, I guess it made sense, and you would know if you spoke to her or any animal communicator, a good one, about your animal. There are things that only you can really sense about them that when they tell you, it just clicks. And so this time I went with Brian in the car. I held him on my lap. I said, don't take him until you're ready to do
usually
the surgery.
You like check him in a few hours early, and
leave him there.
They take him and put him in a crate or something, but you held him in the waiting room, and
they came
until
out.
They were like just ready to take him in,
and then I waited and I stayed there. I had brought my laptop, but I knew I wasn't going to work. I did a Reiki session. I had done a Reiki session on him the day before, and I did one that when I was in the room waiting for him, and I did it on the vet and his team. And I think just staying focused and sending the message to Antonio that I was there, that I wasn't leaving, that we were connected. We were going to be connected the whole time. It was like maybe...
I think it was a better, like...
energy-wise.
It was a better overall process, rather than just like me putting him in a crate, putting him in the car, taking him to the vet, where they will then put him in another crate. And leave him for a few hours, and then it's very cold and disconnected. You don't do that with humans. When you take humans in for surgery, you usually go with them, and then you wait with them in the waiting room, and then and then they take them into surgery, and then you're waiting when they get out of surgery. Like, that's how you do it with
But they have to prep him. They have to take his vitals. They have to make sure that he's good to go. His heart is doing well. So, about 3 hours later, the surgery only takes about an hour, a little bit less. But I think he went into surgery. They came to me and they were like, just to let you know, we're about to start surgery. And so I was like, okay. And I just sat there and I thought about him the whole time. And next thing I know, I see this woman, one of the assistants come out, and I see her holding Antonio, and I was just like, oh no, what happened? Because I thought, wow, that's so it went by so quickly, and then I see his bandaged foot, and I was like, oh my God, he made it through. I cried. I was like, oh, thank God. And we didn't expect him to bring him to bring him out, because usually, you know, they have told us they have to ease out of anesthesia. They used human grade anesthesia, which is the gas anesthesia, the one that where you count back from 10. So it's a very safe anesthesia for animals, and
it metabolizes quickly.
Yeah, that's what they say. And they wake up quickly from it.
You inhale it and you fall asleep really fast, but then once they stop pumping the gas, you wake up really fast. So it's really quick.
So I thought So
let's look at this boy.
Show you Antonito, he's in his wheelchair right now. Yes, my boy.
Let's take a look at this handsome one.
Oh, I know.
Oh my goodness.
There's our boy. He's a boy. He's a little bit naked in the leg because he had to get shaved, but that's okay. It's
okay.
Brand new. He's gonna get a brand new foot.
And you tell everybody you picked out this yellow.
He picked out the yellow.
He always picks out his color.
Yeah. We had a rebandage.
We show him the colors of the bandage, and he picks which one.
Yellow seems to be a favorite.
You like yellow because it matches your beak.
Yeah, look how handsome. Look how handsome you look. Yeah, he's doing so well. He's eating great. I mean, and they let us take him home that day, which we were like,
yeah, that was shocking because Rue stayed there for like 4 days or something.
Yeah, no, almost a week. But now they were like, you know, you guys are seasoned at this. And they told us how to do the bandage change. We had to do one yesterday, make sure that the surgery site was not swollen or collecting fluid or anything like that. And then we're taking him back in on Monday so the doctor can check. But it looks good to me, you know. And he's been, we sat with him in the room for about an hour. They said sit with him for about an hour just to, you know. They brought him out to me and his leg was shaking like this. I remember, and I was like, oh, and that's kind of what happens. I don't know if any of you have ever had surgery, and if you've woken up from anesthesia. When I had my tonsillectomy, I woke up crying, and I don't know why. I just remember I opened my eyes and the nurse said, "Are you okay?" And Jackie. I said, yeah. And she's like, "Why are you crying?" Which is weird that she would ask me, because apparently it's very common. It's to wake up crying.
I'm going to go put her under
Yeah.
Okay, sweetheart.
Jackie's trying to pop out of her chair. She wants to go with Rue. She just finished her lunch. So that is the update on Antonio. I know. Let's see. Let's catch up. Oh, Reese Carr was so worried about you, but look at you. You're all good. It's such a relief. I mean, he's cancer-free, and that's what we were building up to. You know, since March, we knew the cancer was going to continue to grow, but we didn't want to take his foot too soon, and then it just became, no, we got to do this. Now he's limping, now he's in pain. We got to improve his quality of life. Oh, you know. What a bubby. What a bubby. Who's my bubby?
It's okay.
What happened?
It's okay. Jackie did a little flapping.
Yeah, I saw that. Gotta take her out slowly, gently. Okay, let's see. I know it's a bit strange. Sunny Shine 45 says it's a bit strange. Vegans, or maybe you meant veterinarians, aren't vegan. Yeah. We hope some are. I know some are. Yeah. Baba, what's the matter? Do you want the blueberries, or do you want to go back in your chair? He's like, I want to perch on my own. He wants to just be. Or do you see the pretzels?
You're like 3 days out of surgery, and he already wants to walk around.
Yeah, he's just been. I think for the next 2 weeks we have to keep him relatively still, and so that's what the wheelchair is great for, because when I'm not holding him, he's in there, or when you're not holding him. Let's see. So right now, Sunnyshine 45, he's not, we can't let him do too many things like that, like walk around or jump. He sleeps in his crate with the door closed now, because we don't want him to come out in the morning, and like just trying to keep pressure off the wound until it's healed up.
He is already trying to put weight on it.
Yeah, like now I think he's getting stir crazy and he wants to like walk, but it's only temporary. It's temporary.
Won't be very much longer, Bubs.
Yeah. By the way, if we're trying this brand new plant-based buffalo style dip by Good Foods, found it at Target. It's delicious.
Really good.
So good. Try it with pretzels. So, Reese Carr says she's so happy you did great in surgery. Yes. So, we are still, to move on from that topic, we are still collecting donations. If you are able to, if you feel inclined to, whether it's by becoming a Patreon or through Venmo at Those Annoying Vegans, or by purchasing any of our wonderful activist merch on Etsy, that helps us out tremendously, because as you know, Rue and Antonio came to us via a very unorthodox way? Is that like an uncommon way?
How he came into our lives?
Yeah, how they came into our lives was sort of an unfortunate situation.
It's quite unfortunate.
Yeah, because they used to live at the sanctuary where we used to volunteer. And the sanctuary did not show any interest in helping us out financially with their care. They did not show interest in helping them with their care, period, when they needed it. Yeah. So that's when we decided.
Show interest in him, let alone us. I mean.
Yeah. So that's why we left. I mean, because they weren't the first time that had happened, and so we decided to move on. It was not the place for us anymore, and we realized they really don't share our vegan values, because we saw that they were not being as attentive towards the chickens. The chickens were getting the short end of the stick, and we cannot stand for that. We do not support it, and that's why you have to be careful with sanctuaries sometimes. You know, they might look nice on Instagram, but what's really going on? And that's something, unfortunately, no one can ever truly know, or unless you spend a good amount of time volunteering there.
Yeah, the trick is, like, you kind of have to get involved enough to find out that things are going on, and then you feel like you're really involved at that point.
Yeah.
And it makes it more difficult when you decide to part ways. But
it was the best thing we could have done, honestly. We don't let's just leave it at that. But Antonio's amputation was $1,500, and we hope to, pay it off eventually with everything that you guys already donate through Patreon and Venmo and Etsy. So if you would like to help us get there quicker, that would really help our anxiety, I guess.
Yeah, we have I don't know if that's blown out, but
probably is.
Yeah, it includes, like, the surgical pack, the surgical prep, the surgical supplies, and then it also includes the medication that he's on now. Yeah. The
actual leg amputation is $800, and then everything else, anesthesia being the next most expensive thing, and then the medications are not that
reasonable.
Total. Wow, the Clavamox is actually $100. Didn't know that. Didn't see that till just now. But this particular doctor is amazing. I mean, now he specializes in orthopedics in animals, not just dogs, cats, but chickens, apparently cows did not know that until we saw the zebu cow come out of the back of the truck.
Quote unquote exotics.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's amazing. As we were leaving with Antonio, he like pulled down his mask and he was all smiles, and he saw how happy we were, and he was happy, and he was just great. And we are very grateful to him, and he's helped us out financially as well, because he knows, you know.
We told him the backstory and about how these birds came into our care, and not only that, but he genuinely wants to. He genuinely cares about his animals, and he wants to see them get healthy and succeed. And you know, when he really wanted to try, you know, for those of you that don't know, but Fireroo initially didn't get an amputation. He got metal pins in his leg, because the goal was actually to try to fuse his joint so that we didn't have to amputate his leg. And so he put metal pins in his leg with like a bar that kept them tight and in the right angle, so that he could maybe just use his own leg as a crutch. But
the idea was to save his leg.
Yeah, but once his foot started turning like a dark purple color, and we realized that because
his wound was too old, like his wound was too deep.
It had just been neglected for months and months, and he had this wound in his elbow that just got worse and worse and worse, to the point where he couldn't use that leg anymore. He would just keep it up like this.
It was a hole, basically, and there was like necrosis. We couldn't get the skin to heal without the pins, and he thought, well, maybe, you know, if we debride it means like just clean off the old tissue, make room for new tissue, but it just wouldn't heal, and so we had to go through with the amputation.
Yeah. But the doctor, thankfully, he didn't charge us for that amputation at all, because he had already charged us for the surgical pin implants.
And he said, I just really wanted it to work.
Yeah.
And that's when you know you have a good vet on your side.
And I mean, it's not easy or cheap to do an amputation. Like, you look right here, you have the facility, you have the supplies, you have the staff, you have the anesthesia, you have the operation itself, like
the post-care, which they include, you know, the suture removal, which they include, thankfully. So yeah. That is
there's
Antonio.
So of course today, all super chat donations, all of your Venmo donations, all of your PayPal donations.
Chris Grauer just donated $2. Thank you so much. $1.99 for Antonio's medical care. Thank you so much.
It really helps. You guys have no idea.
Because it adds up. Like, don't feel like, you know, $1 is, it's just $1. No, it's not just $1, because it really adds up.
Yeah.
And, you know, eventually we will get there. We just hope to get there sooner than later. So
before the credit card bill comes due.
Yeah.
But yes, so all donations today will go directly towards this handsome boy. And how deep are we? Oh, we're half hour in. Okay. So
yeah,
we should start.
We should start the video. Let me put him in the. Do you want to sit here for the vid? Okay,
you can sit.
Yeah.
Maybe if you get a little fussy, we put you in your chair again. Okay.
Do you want to take a nap?
Do you want to take a nap? Let's see. Oh, okay. I think someone asked a while ago, have we watched Joey's latest video? No, we haven't.
I know
and
something.
You guys are fighting about it in the chat.
Are you even listening?
Haven't seen it.
Are you even listening? Here's what's happening.
Yeah.
No.
This live stream is about Antonio and this article that we're about to respond to.
I only know something about a lamb. He apparently rescued a lamb, but I do not know what happened.
People are upset about it or something?
Frankly, guys, the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks have been scant for us on Instagram. Do follow us, but we when your family is, you know, when you're taking care of your family, they become the most important thing on the planet. And I just do not have the time. We don't have the time. Sometimes, but you know, we're starting to get back in it. We made a post today. Have you guys seen it? It's
we just put one out today.
Yeah. Okay.
Benjamin Hansen asks, is eating buffalo vegan? That's a joke, of course, I'm sure.
Buffalo style.
Buffalo style, which actually I believe is named after the city of Buffalo, New York. It's not the animal, because traditional buffalo wings are made from chicken corpses. So they're not made from buffalo. But we don't do that. We don't do that, Antonio.
No.
Because it's not kind.
No, it's not kind. Antonio deserves to live just like anyone else.
Donald Duck says, is Antonio okay? What's needed for the medical? What's needed for the medical is to give him his medication, his post-op medication, and we're going to be getting him.
I think he means in general. What's needed for the medical is if you're just joining us, his bill was $1,500. Yeah. And right now he's getting 2 medications. He has a recheck on Monday, and then suture removal in 2 weeks.
And then we're going to get him a prosthetic foot.
Yes, and that is an additional expense. We don't expect you guys, because that is an optional thing. We don't expect, we never like ask for donations for their prosthetics. You know, we have to take care of that ourselves, because for us, the medical care is what is necessary. And so, you know, for Fireroot, we're taking care of his prosthetic, and that's, you know, it came to over $1,000.
$1,000.
But it, you know, if he can walk again, I just bust my ass working several extra hours. So that's just the way it's going to be.
Put in the extra time.
We have to do that, and sometimes that means not being on Instagram as often. But family comes first. It's gotta.
Benjamin Hansen asks, what is the best way to donate? If you want to make sure that that 100% of your donation will go directly to him, then that would be Venmo. If you want to just make a one-time donation through Venmo or PayPal, I suppose,
same
like a direct
thing.
payment.
Yeah.
That would
would
get the most. Yeah, we're at Those Annoying Vegans on Venmo. That will make sure that.
But not PayPal.
PayPal, it would have to be the email.
My email, yeah, my personal email. But just DM me on Instagram and ask.
Venmo is good. If you don't have a Venmo or you don't want to do Venmo, you can make a super chat donation. YouTube and Google, they take a cut.
Or get something back for your donation, and get stickers and a shirt, because you know, obviously when people sell stuff on Etsy, we bump up the price a little bit so that we get a little more back, and that's just the way you profit.
Or you can also sign up for Patreon as well. If you know, Patreon I think is like a monthly thing, but you can sign up for 1 month and then you can cancel after the first month.
Alan Bender, thank you so much for your $3.33 donation.
Thank you,
Those
Alan.
are good numbers.
It is.
Those are good. Look, he's falling asleep. Do you see he's falling asleep?
Sleepy rooster.
Sleepy Roo. When he falls asleep, he closes his eyes and he starts doing that.
He hangs his head a little bit.
No, but he starts like almost. Do you see?
My boy.
He's the sweetest. He's the sweetest. Yeah, my boy. Okay.
Okay.
Shall we begin?
Yes. So what we wanted to do today, guys, was go over this article that we found on Ag Daily. If I can find it real quick.
I think it's on the same.
There we go.
Yeah.
And we can kind of come over here and do a picture-in-picture dealy.
Oh boy.
Hello.
Can we drag it? Yeah, there we go. Getting tiny.
There it is. So we have this article that Anna discovered on like your Google feed or something, right?
Well, because I'm always looking for animal rights related news, just to see what's up, and then that kind of popped up.
Yeah.
So the reason it popped up is because animal rights is in the title.
Yeah.
But it's titled, "It's Amazing What Simple Things Draw Hatred from Animal Rights Activists." Okay, can we still look at the chat? Oh, I should have had.
You need another device to do that.
Sure.
I'm gonna go get the laptop.
Gonna go get my laptop. Have like 3 different things. But yeah, this article was written by a Michelle Miller. I say a Michelle Miller because I actually know a Michelle Miller. I used to babysit for Michelle Miller back in Boston. But this is a different Michelle Miller, also known as Farm Babe. And I guess we'll go through the article and see what you think and discuss. Brian's just pulling up my. You can come over. Put it.
Hold on.
Yes, my love. because we want to keep up with what you have to say.
So we're going to put this here.
There we go.
So we can see what you see.
Vegan Ichiego. What does it mean, give me clout now?
Give me clout now.
What's clout?
Oh, did Chris Grauer donated another $5?
Thank you so much, Chris.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
That's for you.
That's another $5 for you, Bubby. Look at that.
Good boy. Okay. All right, so let's begin. I'm going to start reading it.
Yeah.
We'll pause when we want to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
Exploit, torture, murder, rape, slavery, abuse. How awful are these words? How terrible are these actions? And what do these words all have in common? These are words that vegan animal rights activists use to describe the work of livestock farmers. Isn't that sad? Well, let's discuss up to there.
Yeah.
Because facts, not feelings, right? Exploit. What is it called when you profit off of a... What is it called when you profit off of the life of an animal?
Mm-hmm.
Is the definition of exploitation? Let's see exploitation, because we're going by facts. Exploitation, the action or fact of treating someone unfairly in order to benefit from their work.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's look at I don't know, the dairy industry. Forcefully inseminating cows against their will, taking their babies from them so that they don't drink the milk that belongs to them, killing the babies for veal, killing
baby cows.
Yeah, killing
dead baby cow. I mean, you eat veal. We call it veal. It's weird. It's dead baby cow.
Dead baby cow. Mm-hmm. Let's stop with the euphemisms. Mm-hmm. Repeating this process 4 or 5 times until the mother is so spent that she can no longer produce milk at a profitable level, at which point she is sent to the slaughterhouse to get killed for her flesh. Yep. That sounds like exploitation to me. What about chickens? Egg-laying chickens. Jackie, our chicken, we rescued her off of a slaughter truck because she was most likely an egg-laying chicken. She was done being profitable for her eggs. Mm-hmm. After about 6 months, they stopped laying as many eggs. So she came to us at about 6 months. Now she's about 2 years old. She maybe lays 2 months out of the year. Mm-hmm. So that to an egg-laying farmer is not a profitable business. So she is sent to slaughter. That sounds like exploitation to me. What do you guys think?
Real quick, Donald Duck, thank you so much. Donald Duck just donated £4.99.
Thank you.
He says, here's for Antonio. Venmo's not available from the UK. You guys are great. I enjoy listening to your content.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Donald. And Sunnyshine is worried about Antonio's airway, I think, because he was squealing. But that's a noise that chickens make.
It's not a noise, it's a sound.
It's a sound. It's a vocalization.
They vocalize. You guys, oh my gosh.
They do a high-pitched noise.
Yeah.
Chickens don't go bok bok or cluck cluck. They really don't. They certainly don't say cock-a-doodle-doo.
No.
I've never heard a rooster say that. Even kikiri is close.
Kikiri.
It's closer.
Spanish.
It's much closer.
Yeah. But their vocalizations, they have over 30, and it's amazing to have sort of learned when they see a crow, when they are going to sleep and they're making their bed, when they find something good to eat. They have a vocalization for all of that.
Mm-hmm. And Lost in Pencils just donated $14.99. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Lost in Pencils, right,
We're
Antonio?
So grateful. Lost in Pencils donated to your
for the
care.
sweet boy, thank you for all you guys do for the animals.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
And Antonio appreciates it too.
So let's move on to torture.
Mm-hmm.
Torture. When an animal is... Well, I've been doing a lot of talking. You describe torture.
Well, we can just do the same thing, like torch. We can go...
Murder. I mean...
Murder is factually what we do to animals is murder by the definition of murder.
Killing them against their will.
To slay wantonly or to slaughter wantonly is one of the Merriam-Webster definitions of murder. Yeah. And wantonly just means intentionally. So whenever you kill a living being intentionally, a sentient being, I should say, a sentient being,
Torture.
A definition of torture as a verb: to inflict severe pain or suffering on. So clearly what we do to animals is torture. We do inflict pain.
Docking a pig's tail.
Cut their tails off, we cut their teeth out.
Removing their teeth without anesthesia. You know, all things that, of course, farmers who care so much about their animals say, oh no, that's not pain. They're not squealing because they feel pain.
Yeah.
You know.
And they also, I mean, with cows, they brand them. With chickens,
and that's standard industry practice. You know, branding. It's a hot or cold iron.
Yeah. And they cut the beaks off of little chickens.
Hurts.
They cut the toes off of turkeys.
Did you know their beaks bleed? If they injure their beaks, they bleed. They have nerve endings in their beaks.
Of course they do.
And once you cut a chicken's, I'm sorry, it shouldn't.
But they don't cut them. They press them against a searing hot piece of metal.
And they never grow back the same.
It just flattens the beak.
Yeah, they keep growing squared.
Yeah.
Roosters don't often get, his beak is normal.
Yeah. So murder, abject murder, I mean, Merriam-Webster, I think it's the second or third definition.
The whole thing, yeah, we're not there yet.
I was just, sorry.
Just.
So rape, obviously.
Forceful insemination.
Insemination of dairy cows and
chickens. Of turkeys and of chickens, every animal. Because in a farm setting, especially factory farm setting, animals are not as inclined to procreate. Maybe something about their surroundings impedes them from doing so. But turkeys are, I read an article that literally said that turkeys have been bred to be too heavy to be able to even procreate on their own. So turkeys have to be forcefully inseminated. Sheep, goats, you name it.
I mean, just replace the victim. If you forcefully inserted a pipette of semen into a human woman, what would you call it? All of a sudden, if they're...
Doesn't have to be a pipette either. It could just be...
All of a sudden, if they're... But I mean, that's what we do to cows. It's this little... Well, it's like a needle.
Yeah.
It's not a sharp needle, but it's a metal needle that's designed to be inserted into a cow and impregnate them on purpose. Just because they're a cow, I don't know why that all of a sudden changes the act. The act is the same.
Do not fiddle until you're ready to move.
Sorry. Slavery.
Are they free?
Textbook definition. I mean.
People have such an issue with this word, but again, we're going by textbook definitions. The definition of slavery is
the practice or system of owning slaves, a condition compared to that of a slave in respect to exhausting labor or restricted freedom.
Are animals free to live life the way they would live life?
Or slavery being the state of being a slave, and
Yeah, a slave, a person who is the legal property of another and is forced to obey them. And as we've discussed, animals are persons.
Yeah, animals have personhood. They're not objects. They're not places. And to work excessively hard. I mean, obviously.
Yeah. And what do they get? I mean, what they don't. It's like I know they don't.
They get a knife across the throat is what they get.
Yeah. Oh, but we give them a good life before we kill them. That's usually the rhetoric, right, in the animal ag industry, and that is a little welfare that they like to. All
and right. Let's see, they also.
You guys still talking about Joey?
I know. This has become a Joey Carbstrong forum, guys. I am not Joey Carbstrong. Why are we talking about Joey?
I don't know.
We haven't seen the video, so we're going to be of no use to you guys on this issue. Angry Vegan says they also branded people during the human Holocaust. Lots of similarities. Of course, there's lots of similarities.
Yeah.
That's why we use that word, or that's why some vegan activists avoid that word. But the reason why some vegan activists use that word is to draw the comparisons.
Yes.
And because it's accurate.
You want to continue reading?
Yeah. Well, the last word here is abuse. I mean.
Abuse.
Let's do it again, guys. Here we go. Abuse definition. To use something to bad effect or for a bad purpose. To treat a person or an animal
with cruelty or violence, especially regularly or repeatedly.
It's textbook.
I mean,
textbook definition.
And look, the people like Michelle Miller probably are going to be like, well, I don't treat my animals that way.
Yeah.
I don't. My farm is special. We treat our animals with respect, until the day that you decide to take their lives against their will for selfish purposes, to put money in your pocket, because of course we know that money justifies violence, right? Or to consume the carcass yourself, even though you don't need to, because we can live without it. I mean, come on, guys. This it's not Bill Nye science. We can live without eating animals. Moving on.
Michelle Miller says, did you know that
as a Facebook
page admin, what?
Go little by little. It's driving me insane. You're driving me insane.
Did you know that as a Facebook page admin, we can choose to block certain words from our pages?
Oops.
And so that those comments won't show up on the page, and it will be flagged as spam. It's crazy to think that these are the words I must block to prevent harassment from animal rights activists, although it's quite rare I am attacked on my page. It's also a great tool to weed out negativity. It drives me crazy when these activists come troll my social media pages after writing an article or doing a post in support of animal agriculture. You can read more about this here. And the hatred that so many of us in animal agriculture endure. An interesting story and example. I'm so sorry you're
the victim. I'm so sorry. Oh, you're sorry.
An interesting story and example of what's gone very viral. What's happened on social media and gone very viral. Now, first of all, Michelle Miller, she did write an article earlier this year, I think, that was called like "No one can ever be vegan," or like "Sorry vegans, you're not truly vegan." And her argument was that avoiding all animal exploitation in the modern world is impossible. So you can't be vegan because you can't avoid everything. And
so then let's go intentionally murder animals for taste pleasure.
I know. I mean, that same argument is like, well, you can't prevent the murder of all human beings. Like, you just can't save all human beings. You can't prevent all murder. It's just impossible. Some people are going to murder, and you can't stop it. So you might as well murder people.
Right.
Because you can't stop it.
That's the logic behind that.
That's the logic. You can't stop all theft. I mean, you're just not going to stop it. People are going to steal. So you might as well rob banks.
Michelle Clayton, thank you so much for your $5 donation.
Oh, thank you, Michelle.
That is going straight to cover Antonio's medical bill. Thank you, thank you, thank you. He's sleeping right now, so that's why he's like this. That's how he sleeps.
And Peter Cunnington donated $2 Canadian. Thank you, Peter Cunnington.
You guys were in a video about being soy. What?
We were in a video about being soy boys?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure we'll make it into a lot of people's videos, but...
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that don't like us.
We don't really watch them.
Who cares, guys? Who cares?
Well...
Someone on the internet wants to call me or Anna or both of us a soy boy? Like, you're not a boy, first of all. But,
I identify as a woman, thank you.
I don't know.
But I'm whatever.
Yeah.
But
it's
I
funny.
do love tofu. That's nothing I'm...
Dude, tofu, seitan.
But I think it's meant to be like... It's meant to imply weakness or something.
Yeah, when you get called a soy boy, that means like you're weak or something, which is hilarious to me because there's so many vegan bodybuilders, vegan strongmen on the planet that it's just, at this point, it's like 5-year-olds arguing on the playground that like my dad can beat up your dad or something. It's like that level of...
We appreciate your donation, Peter.
But thank you, Peter. Thank you, Peter.
That's going to Antonio's medical care. Moving on to the next... an interesting story, an example of what's happened on social media recently is this darling video that's gone very viral. I've watched that video. I don't know if you guys have. Yeah, the calf licking a cat.
Okay. Well,
can you play it?
I tried.
Well, don't play it because then who knows if we get flagged for some. Just scroll.
Oh, do I have to sign up to play it or something? Anyway,
scroll.
It's a video of a
cows
licking a cat, right?
Scroll.
I'm attempting.
Oh, it's not scrolling?
It's not scrolling.
Okay, there it is.
Hold on, there we go. Okay. So the video, sweet, right? How can a video this adorable upset anyone? Comments from animal rights activists, particularly on Instagram, blew my mind with misinformation and hatred towards it. How on earth? How do their minds go to a level so negative? We must remember that there's an extremely good chance they have never been to or worked on a farm a day in their life. They're involved with tribes that don't speak the truth about agriculture, and this is another reason why we as farmers must continue to educate and speak out on what we actually do.
You mean sell animals' bodies and carcasses for profit? That's what you actually do.
Well, first you artificially inseminate females against their will. Then you separate the children from the mother so the children doesn't take the milk. Then you sell the milk for profit. Then you do it again and again and again on an average of 5 to 7 times. And then when you no longer think that the animal is worth the milk that she's producing, because she's not producing it fast enough or enough quantity, you then sell her off to market, quote unquote. That's the argument I hear a lot.
We talk about dairy a lot, guys, because it does really encompass the full life cycle of exploitation.
Yeah.
Because it's not just that the animal is dying for their flesh, but they are dying for the secretions that their normal bodily secretions that they produce for their offspring. And then their offspring are also, take part in that circle of abuse and exploitation.
Oh.
And it's just this ongoing cycle until they are sent to slaughter. Some animals are raised purely for their flesh. These animals, and that includes sheep who are, because sheep's milk is a thing, goat's milk. We don't talk about sheep and goats as much because I don't know why, actually. I'm sure it's just as huge of an industry.
Because in the U.S., sheep's milk and goat's milk is not nearly as popular.
Yeah.
But I think in Europe, like goat's cheese and sheep and eating lamb is more popular in Europe than it is here in the U.S.
And there's another misconception I want to point out. There's an extremely good chance they have never been to or worked on a farm a day in their life. We get that a lot. Oh, you city folk don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. No, we only live in California, one of the largest, probably the largest dairy producer in the country. And we've driven past the miles and miles and miles of dairy farms. We've stopped. We've watched. I've seen.
We've been to farms. We've been to slaughterhouses.
Yes.
I grew up in West Virginia. You grew up in Costa Rica. We've been to farms, guys. We know what goes on in farms. But even if we were New York City born and raised, it doesn't make the information any less true. Now, us specifically, we are from rural areas. We have been to many farms. We know what goes on in farms. But there could be people that are born in Los Angeles or in Chicago or in New York. They grow up in those major cities. They have never been to a farm. The facts are still the facts.
Yeah.
You're attacking it's an ad hominem. You're attacking the person and not the argument. The argument is that this industry is exploitative. Your counter argument is you've never been to a farm.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Look at the packaging on, I don't know, let's say a vegetable. Would it be more acceptable in today's world to put a sticker on something vegetable-based, plant-based, of a person harvesting the vegetables versus a cow hanging upside down from these hooks at the slaughterhouse getting their throat sliced? Right? Obviously that doesn't go on packaging at, animal carcass packaging at the store because people might be disinclined to purchase it. But yet that is what happens. Yep. Animals are killed. People don't like to think of what happens when they purchase animal products. Most people wouldn't do it themselves. And even if you claim you could, or even if you do, that is still not a justification to take an animal's life against their will. Moving on. Oh, Donald Duck said that calves lick constantly because they're looking for their mother's teeth. That's true.
Yeah. And he says his partner works in the industry and all the calves lick. It's a natural reaction. Donald is vegan, his partner is not.
Oh. Sorry, but hopefully he will come around, or they will come around. Yeah, that's really hard. I know that can be really hard. I didn't personally experience that because we were both not vegan when we met. But being vegan now, imagining what it would be like to be with someone who is not vegan, especially if they work in the industry.
Would be very difficult.
Yeah, would be very difficult. Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah, Antonio's just chilling, sitting there. Cool as the cucumber cat. He's sleeping, actually. He sleeps with his head like this.
Antonito.
My boy.
He's sleepy chicken.
He's sleepy chicken. That's so... He's sleeping. Your posture is like so weird. They all sleep like this. Okay.
That's you, right?
They claim these are cows that are about to go to slaughter. Not true. These are young calves and are nowhere near the end of their days.
Hold on.
Oh, they're not going to slaughter right away.
They're not going to slaughter.
They're going to slaughter
yet.
Later.
If they're female, they're going to slaughter in about 5 years. So they're not going to slaughter until 5 years from now.
So we're not really killing babies. Well, but you are, because many females, at least at the slaughterhouse, it's not uncommon for cows to be pregnant when they get to the slaughterhouse. It's just not, you see
You kill baby calves in the womb all the time.
All the time.
All the time. When dairy cows are slaughtered for meat, it's very common that they're pregnant because dairy cows get re-impregnated every year.
They pay more per pound as well.
Yeah.
So it's almost like maybe could be an incentive.
Yeah.
And that's actually something the security guard told us at the slaughterhouse that he worked at.
In Southern California, where all these city folk live. Where there's multiple slaughterhouses that we've been to. Many live markets, many slaughterhouses, many farms, right here in the
California.
Big city life. You just drive a little ways outside the city, and you're right there.
Yeah.
But some slaughterhouses are in the city.
And Farmer John is
major.
Literally 5 minutes out of the city of Los Angeles.
It's
in Los Angeles, but it's 5 minutes away from downtown.
It's like a block from Figueroa Boulevard or something. It's downtown LA.
In the meantime, however, these calves appear to be in a beautiful barn, very clean and well cared for. In the meantime, however.
In the meantime.
Choice words.
Which is weird because she just said that they're not going to slaughter.
But for now, they're okay.
These cows are about to go to slaughter. Not true. They're nowhere near slaughter. In the meantime, they're in a beautiful barn.
As I'm reading this article when I was reading it for the first time, I thought, this sounds like someone who's like a 4-H student, like a high schooler, or and then I went and checked out her profile, and she's like, I don't know how old she is. She looks like she might be in her late 30s or 40s. And I'm like, this is just such a young way of writing. I feel like you're literally
it
telling
feels like you're like
us
16 and you're at 4-H
you're literally
camp or
saying
something.
that you get hate from animal rights activists and you can't see why. But look at the way you're writing. It's very hypocritical. Comments about how their actions suggest they're missing their moms? No. Holstein calves and cows in general tend to be lickers by nature. They're a more friendly and curious breed and are known to not be the best mothers. We hear that a lot from farmers. Almost like you are implying that you are doing better by the cows by removing the children from their mothers and then exploiting them. But it's almost like, well, if you think about it, I know that motherhood has been bred out of chickens a lot because having broody chickens is not conducive to an economically viable situation because the chicken's always going to want to sit on her eggs. And if she always wants to sit on her eggs, she's not going to produce more eggs. I feel like motherhood is being bred out of these animals. And if you have a farm, a factory farm or a farm with a bunch of cows, maybe they don't like being there. Maybe they don't like the way they're treated too. I mean,
Well, let's just flip it and say, like, what if Holstein cows were the best mothers? What if the calf came out of the mom, they cuddled them up, they licked them clean, they fed them milk multiple times a day, kept them nearby? I think that would make dairy farming a little difficult if you have this baby cow drinking all of the stuff that you're selling for profit.
Yeah.
So I don't know that dairy farmers want cows to be good mothers.
Mm-hmm.
So asserting that they're not good mothers, I think might align with the action a little bit better, might feel a little better to say that.
Yeah.
Oh, cows aren't good moms. It's okay. I'll just take the baby away from the mom because she's not a good mom anyway. Like, that sounds good and it feels good in your feely feels because you know that you're horribly abusing a mother and her children and then killing them against their will. So anything you can grab onto, like, oh, she's a bad mom. Oh, okay, good. A little bit of guilt.
Farmers
a little
love
bit of
to
guilt
say that.
assuaged from that.
Yeah. They're more friendly and curious. They're friendly and curious. You know,
I'm sure they are
qualities
friendly and
qualities that are also found in any other animal, like dogs, cats, chickens, friendly and curious.
This is interesting.
Yeah, go ahead.
She says, how it's so sad that they're in trapped conditions and that this is the only interaction they get with another human or animal. Not a chance. Farmers and ranchers care very much about the health of these animals. It's a business, right? You didn't answer the question. The critique presented was, these animals are in trapped conditions and this is the only interaction they get with other humans or animals. You respond with, farmers and ranchers care very much about their animals. You didn't say they're not trapped, and you didn't say that they weren't limited in their interaction with other animals. You didn't address it. You just said, "Oh, farmers care about their animals." It's a business,
sure,
right?
you care when and I've heard this a lot. Like, oh, when the day comes to, like, we watched Eating Animals, that documentary. Remember that farmer who it was so hard to let go of his turkeys? The day that the slaughter day came, where they came and picked up his turkeys, it was so hard for him. Then don't. I cannot conceive of ever caring for an animal and letting them go to slaughter. That means I care more about money. I care more about my livelihood. Then switch livelihoods. I know people say, oh, some people don't have a choice. It's not that easy. You grew up Everyone has a choice. If you don't want to kill animals, don't kill animals. Find something else.
Really simple.
So simple.
I wanted to say here, ethical phytophage says that old Upton Sinclair quote comes to mind when hearing that what she's written in that article, something about salary depending on it. Yeah, I think the quote is...
From The Jungle? Yeah, I'm
like,
actually reading it right now.
You'll never change a man's mind as long as his salary depends on it, or as long as his salary depends on his mind not changing. I think that's... I'm probably ruining that quote a little bit, but I think that's the general idea is, yes, if your livelihood depends on a certain narrative being true, then it's really hard to convince you that that's not true.
Reese Carr says, cows are great mothers. Yeah, they chase their babies. Yes.
Yeah, of course.
We've seen them.
Cows will chase after their children.
When they are taken.
When they're taken, they will holler for their children. They will,
Vegan Potterhead is like, what? Yes, that is our reaction too. How can humans bear to do this? It's almost like I feel like there's sort of this divide happening where humanity, it's like, if there were ever going to be a true divide between humans, it would be like ethical, don't give a shit. Oops, shouldn't say that. They'll block our video.
We just got demonetized.
Okay, moving on.
Well, I think right here at the end, it's a business, right?
Yeah.
I think there she's saying the quiet part out loud, right? She's like, farmers care about the animals. It's a business, right? Yeah, that's the wrong reason to care about an animal. We don't care about Antonio because he's a commodity.
Yeah.
Care about him because he's a beautiful person and we like living with him. and we want to take care of them. So it's not a business. But when it is a business, yes, it is. You are going to care about the animal for the wrong reason.
And that's another disinformed vegan animal rights activist train of thought, that farmers don't care and only do it for profits.
You just said
it's a business, right?
You just said it's a business.
That's what I mean when I read this. I'm like, are you? It's some. It doesn't sound like an adult person writing this. Like, you literally contradicted yourself. What else are you doing it for? You're raising animals because you care for them, yet you don't care enough to send them to, to not send them to slaughter. Or what am I trying to say? You don't care enough to not kill them.
Yeah.
Well, if you want profits, you want these animals as happy and healthy as possible, because the less stressed and happy they are, the more milk and or meat they would produce.
Hold on. Hold on.
You see
She says we don't only do it for profit. Well, if you want profit, you want the animals happy and healthy because they produce more milk and meat.
I know. This is why we decided to discuss this with you guys. I know.
Farm babe? Oh my God. I would love to see Farm Babe in a live debate.
So
wouldn't that be great?
What if it said the opposite? Well, if you don't want profit, you don't want these animals to be happy or healthy,
Yeah.
but you do want profit, right? Because then why would you be in the business?
But you don't only farm for profit.
Because you can't subsist on you're not a nonprofit, right? So you're doing it for profit. You could do anything else. You could grow vegetables. You could turn your dairy farm into a oat milk farm. I guess.
There are programs that help farms transition.
Miyoko's Kitchen is one of those organizations that helps farmers transition.
Mm-hmm.
She says, she writes, I used to sell my beef and lamb, not yours, by the way, not yours, directly to consumers at my local farmers markets, and I would get questions like that sometimes. How can we raise an animal only to know that it will die and end up on our plates?
That's a good question.
But you know what? My train of thought is that everything dies.
Man, Stephen Hawking here.
We must treat every living being with the utmost respect, regardless of its purpose. I love the cattle as much as the cat. But you wouldn't send your cat to slaughter, Farm Babe.
But you don't kill your cats.
They will both die someday, but the difference, cattle come with recipes.
Wow.
That's what she wrote. Someone who we're supposed to be taking seriously. That's the difference.
Wow.
Everything dies. Just because we all die doesn't mean we're going to go wantonly kill whoever we want to kill. It doesn't mean, just because a dog is going to die anyway, doesn't mean we're going to kick him to death. Like, really? It's almost like
This is level zero argumentation.
Yeah,
here,
it's not even worth discussing, because
everything dies.
Everything dies.
It doesn't take an Albert Einstein to figure that out.
We must treat every living being with the utmost respect until the day comes to take their lives against their will. Until then, right?
Until I want a bacon cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Then it's worth it all of a sudden, because I like the taste of.
Chris Grauer says, "Wow."
Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
This individual's argument is weak AF. Yes, it is. I mean, she's like ad hominem. She's flat out not responded to the criticism, and then here, her argumentation is everything dies, which is like, a Carl Sagan level discovery about the human existence. I mean, oh my gosh, everything dies? Wow, Farm Babe.
Cattle come with recipes. Cattle, we don't even call them cows, come with recipes. You know what else comes with recipes? I'm sure in some parts of the world, dogs come with recipes.
I was just going to say, what if this was an article written in China about, well, we don't kill cats, but dogs, they come with recipes.
Yeah. Ah, Dios mío.
Holy cow.
Ethical Phytophage says, bang on target, Brian. It is, quote, Upton Sinclair, it is difficult to get a man to understand something when his salary depends on his not understanding it.
Yep.
Yep. That is an excellent quote. If you guys haven't read The Jungle, by the way, I think that's from The Jungle. Very eye-opening piece of fiction, fiction based on nonfiction.
Benjamin Hansen says, to be frank, it is hard to argue against veganism. Yes, it is. It's like arguing for child abuse or arguing for discrimination based on race or gender. It's really difficult to argue. Den Kono says, hello TVT in chat. We are TAV, not TVT, but
who's TVT?
We get that a lot.
Who's
that vegan? No, wait.
No, that's not.
Wait, TVT. Who is TVT? I was thinking of TVC. Who's TVT?
I don't know. But hello.
Hello, Den Kono.
If you're just joining us, every super chat, Venmo, and Etsy purchase / donation goes directly to cover Antonio's medical bill that we discussed earlier in the video, because he just had his amputation / makeover. No more cancer. Cancer-free, Antonio.
Oh, Denkono says cannibalism comes with recipes, but carnists are too quick to dismiss that notion.
Oh my God. So
TVT, TVT is that vegan teacher? Okay.
Oh.
Well, we're not her either. People do call us the vegan couple a lot. I know we get confused because we're a couple and we're vegan and we're on social media.
We love Natasha and Luca. They were our inspiration to become activists. So thank you. We love them so much. I think we need to move on.
Sorry, correcting the TAV. Thank you, Denkono. Michelle Miller continues. So I've always found the animal rights tactics and mindset quite disturbing, to be honest. Who looks at the video above and gives it a negative spin? Well, I think Antonio knows.
Antonio saw a crow outside.
I know.
A shadow. Actually, it was not a crow. It was a shadow of a crow, and he can tell.
And he's warning us that there's a crow. I know. It's okay.
What else?
You're safe in here, Bubs.
Yeah, everybody's safe.
You're safe.
Okay.
Who would look at the video above and giving it a negative spin? Well, what is in the video above? In the video above is enslaved individuals showing affection to a free individual outside of the cage.
A free individual who will not...
Free individual. I know. It's very sad. The dairy industry. I know. It is not good. No. That's why we don't buy dairy products.
No.
We don't like them. But that's the quote unquote negative spin is you have a cat roaming around your farm that you would never think about slaughtering and eating.
Yeah.
And you would never lock in a cage and separate from the mom and
we don't take that stuff
the milk, take cat milk and drink it.
We're just not taking that video at surface value, even though we know farmers would love for us to. You know, they want us to look at that video and think, oh, it's so cute, calves licking a cat. Replace the victims. What if it were children behind bars petting a cat outside, or I don't know, another...
Like puppies that were on their way to slaughter.
Yeah.
Licking a cat from inside their cage.
Yeah.
Animals, people, and everything else die. Wow. She's another mind-blowing discovery. Livestock give us thousands of useful byproducts, and yes, they will someday be let go of, just like pets and humans are. I don't think we let go of humans in the same way we let go of cows in the dairy industry.
Nope.
I don't think we let go of dogs and cats in the same way either. When's the last time anyone bolt gunned their cat in the head and then slit their throat?
And
are you serious?
Yeah. She's... Again, an adult woman.
She's older. I mean, she's an adult, right?
Yeah, she's, per her Instagram and her website or whatever, she looks like she is an adult human. Yeah. Making statements. She expects us to take this farmers and animal ag seriously.
Yeah.
That is her goal. Her goal.
Yeah, she finishes with, yet livestock producers are the devil in activists' eyes. Not that, people always do that. There was a comment on one of our recent videos who's like, vegans think that eating meat is a sin. And it's like, we don't think that has a religious connotation to it. It's like, it's not a sin. It's simply an immoral act. And I guess if that's what you're calling a sin. And so we don't think farmers are the devil. We just think that the act of enslaving and torturing and abusing and exploiting and eventually murdering animals needlessly for quote-unquote food products that we don't need, that's immoral. It's unethical. So take, if you want to infuse the devil into that, then okay.
Burning Flex, thank you for joining us, and thank you for that sweet comment. Just to catch you up, we are debunking an article we found on Ag Daily, and we also updated you guys on Antonio, who had his amputation / makeover.
It's a makeover, Bubby.
It's a makeover for Antonio because he's going to get a brand new, healthy foot.
It's going to look very nice.
And thank you, Denkono, for your $5 donation to help us cover those medical expenses because they were extensive.
Oops, sorry.
And anything you would like to give via...
We talked about this in the first half hour of the show.
Yes. Venmo, Patreon, Etsy. We welcome that. No amount is too small. For Antonio, a beautiful boy bird. Yes, he knows. He knows he's beautiful.
The 40-year-old vegan says, as a former AG inspector, I can validate the vegan community and my tactics.
Really? Really? I didn't know you were a former ag inspector.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Did I? No, I don't think I did. Or maybe I did. Because it sounds familiar as something I spoke to someone on Instagram about before. But whoa, so thank you for validating that. Moving on with the article. Words matter too. Why is it that when it's time for pets to die, society uses gentle phrases like, quote, putting them to sleep, but livestock are slaughtered? Not our term, by the way. Animal ag. Slaughter is the standard industry term that you guys came up with. Not you guys, but animal ag. Slaughter, right? Like, what else do you call it?
Now they try to use the word harvest, which is hilarious.
Yeah, harvest. Yeah, harvest is a new one because we're
harvesting animals.
Harvesting animals, really? Like freaking carrots.
Plant a seed and then a cow grows.
Like, the definition of slaughter is to kill animals for food. It says it right here in the dictionary. It's not a definition we came up with, Michelle. She says, who even came up with these terms?
Humanity.
Not a vegan.
Humanity. We all agree on words, and they have definitions. That's why definitions are important.
The word slaughter just sounds awful. Well, yes, it does, doesn't it? Killing animals for food sounds awful. Again, to us, it's not about the word. It's about the action behind the word. So when people get upset at words like murder and rape, oh, I'm so sorry if that word offends you, but really, what is happening? What is happening when we murder? What is happening what is happening when humans murder, when humans rape? It is not the word, it is what the word means. So if the word slaughter sounds awful to you, then maybe don't kill animals for food.
Yeah, and she's also saying when pets die, society uses gentle phrases. When animals die, it's called being slaughtered.
No, let's look at the euphemisms that Animal Ag comes up with. We made a post about this not long ago. Okay, on our Instagram, Animal Ag euphemisms and their true meanings. Slaughter, to murder an animal against their will. Cull, to murder an animal against their will. Process, to murder an animal against their will. Harvest, you get the idea. Butcher, dispatch, sacrifice, neutralize. All words that mean the same thing.
Kill this animal and chop up their body.
In fact, Animal Ag has come up with all these terms to hide the reality behind what it means to kill an animal against their will.
Well, but what strikes me is the intellectual dishonesty.
Yeah.
Of saying, well, how come when pets die we call it this, but when cows die we call it that? As an adult woman, you're not acknowledging the fact that we treat...
Wait.
As an adult woman, you're not acknowledging the fact that we treat pets and farm animals drastically differently.
Yeah.
You're just skipping over that entirely. and that people will adopt a kitten as a baby, and the cat will live 19 years.
Let me just finish
and then,
this paragraph.
Die of renal failure. Like, that's completely different than killing a cow at the age of 2.
Yeah, for
beef?
Beef or whatever. The word slaughter just sounds awful, but is the process really awful? I would say no, and that the industry is very well regulated.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes livestock are also, quote, put to sleep as a very humane way to go. Again, put to sleep? What do you mean? Like,
you mean that pigs are
euthanized via injection?
Slaughtered?
That is bull crap.
No.
Not in standard industry practice, because that would be hella expensive, and you know this. Yeah. Come on, I mean, for someone who claims that we are not knowledgeable about the industry. Come on.
Cows are bolt gunned in the head, and then they get their throat slit. Pigs are electrocuted or suffocated.
Maybe not on your homestead. Maybe not on your little homestead in the middle of wherever you are.
But can you euthanize an animal and then eat their corpse? Like,
I don't think chemicals. I don't know unless there's a different. But that would be very time consuming. That's not the way it works. At least standard.
Nonsense.
Standard.
Chris Grauer just donated another $1.99.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you.
Antonio thanks you.
Yes, Antonio. Right. Personally, when it's time for a food animal to go, I use the phrase, quote, they're ready to go to market. Market sounds much better than slaughter, right? Geesh.
She sounds 14, doesn't she?
Not to offend smart 14-year-olds. I mean, yeah, it's just ready to go to market doesn't take away from the meaning of what is really happening. Whether you say slaughter or ready to go to market, we know what's happening. You know, farmers like to dumbify people. Like they kind of, with the whole like labeling, we don't know, you can't use the word meat on vegan product or in plant-based products. You can't use the word milk because consumers are going to be confused. They love to do that, don't they? Yeah. They just like dumb us down.
Well, I mean,
but it's really not about our intelligence. It's really about their the
action.
It's the action. They know it's.
It's funny she should bring that up though, because there was a recent discovery that when when Jack the Ripper in England.
Almost there. Sunny Shine 45. We're almost done with the article.
It was discovered that when Jack the Ripper would kill his victims, he would say that they're crossing the Rainbow Bridge. So that sounds better. No, it's not. I'm kidding.
I thought that was real. Why does that thing keep coming up?
Because it's trying to play that video.
Oh.
So let me just reload the page.
Let's reload it and then we'll scroll back down. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I mean, you're ignoring the exit page. Fine, go, fine.
I think your entire snap.
There we go.
No, reload. And don't hit play on that video.
Yeah, that video
messed us up.
Messed everything up.
Pardon us.
Okay. You're ignoring the reality of what's happening. You're saying, I like to say that it's...
I do it because you're not paying attention.
I am. I like to say that they're going off to market. Okay, you'd like to say that. Here's what's going to happen. They're going to get a bolt gun in the head, and they're going to get their throat slit. And then their body's going to get chopped up, wrapped in plastic, sent to the supermarket. So you can call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can call it playing in a Kiss cover band. I mean, it doesn't matter what you call it. The action is the action.
Continuing on.
I will say, however, attacks from these extreme activists happen only in rare instances.
It should happen more often. Get out
Of course, because vegans are nonviolent by nature. The whole mantra of veganism is nonviolence. So when you say like, vegan attacks are rare,
and
of course,
there's nothing extreme about defending an animal's life.
It is very important that we don't let the distractions of a very small vocal minority affect our psyche.
Apparently you are already letting it affect your psyche because you've written an entire article.
Wrote several articles for Ag Daily at this point, I think. We must not ever let them silence us. And we should remember that well over 90% of people are in the movable middle, and meat isn't going anywhere anytime soon. For first of all, how can vegans silence farmers?
In fact,
do we have the power
before that you have blocked certain words that you don't like from your social media. So let's talk about silencing again.
It's always the people that want to cry cancel culture that are trying to cancel other people.
Yeah.
It's always the case. And for you to say, like, we won't let these vegans silence us, we're not trying to silence you. We want you to keep talking about your industry. Like, we want you to show footage from your farms. The reason we go to farms and get footage is because you won't show the footage.
Yeah.
If you would just show footage from your farm, we would appreciate that.
If you claim it's so wonderful.
Just walk through the slaughterhouse with your iPhone and just film what's going on. But people don't do that. So that's when vegans have to get a little sneaky and go in and get the footage ourselves and then share it with people so that people really know where their dollar is going. We're not trying to silence any industry.
We were there. We used to buy not your products. We used to be in the movable middle, and we changed because we learned the truth. Change is possible. Like, we used to be, you did something wrong, not you, but animal ag farmers, they did something wrong because we didn't continue to fall for it.
She continues, still, we must never take our foot off the gas when it comes to advocacy, education, and bringing the gap overall to strengthen.
I think
bringing,
she said bridging.
Okay.
She miswrote.
Man, wish she could hire a copywriter, an editor, or something.
Or proofread.
Bridging or just proofread your stuff before you publish it. That's cool. Bridging the gap overall to strengthen the message of animal agriculture and ensure the general public is comfortable with the meat supply and how livestock are raised.
Well, we are not, and we are the general public.
The general public is not comfortable. Yeah. That's why you're using the word go off to market instead of slaughter, because the population is not comfortable with it. So you're changing your words.
And let me just, when she said a very small vocal minority, small enough that in the last 5 years, you go to any Target, you go to any Walmart, you go to any store, major food, major chains, store chain.
Ralph's.
And now there is a dedicated space for plant-based products, plant-based meats, plant-based milks. That is how small our vocal.
Yep.
It's just so funny because
sounds like someone's a little scared.
A
little scared.
So guys, that is not sorry.
Oh,
one more paragraph. Personally, I know that the more I'm involved hands-on with the livestock industry, the more comfortable I am with the process overall and confident that all animals deserve happy, healthy lives regardless of where they end up.
Oh.
I hope you feel the same.
We don't feel the same.
The end.
Michelle Miller, the farm babe. She's a farmer, public speaker, and writer who has worked for years with row crops, beef, cattle, and sheep. She believes education is key in bridging the gap between farmers and consumers. You spelled bridging there properly, which is great. 1 out of 2 ain't bad. Well,
regardless of where they end up.
No.
How...
So weird, isn't it?
It's just such an odd
regardless of what we're going to do to them.
Such an odd frame of mind. It's almost like... I mean, because again, it's like just because you treated your animals with care, let's say you're one of those farmers who treats their animals well and loves them, and that, but how can
Gives
you...
them the best food and shiatsu massage every day.
Yeah, and name
plenty
them.
Of space.
How are you okay with ending their lives?
Yeah, and selling them off for some money, just a little bit of money.
You know where your animals are going to end up? In the toilet. Because people are going to eat their carcasses and poop it out. Yep. And that is
for a little bit of money too. I mean, it's like what the things that people are willing to do for money is crazy.
No.
It's crazy.
Yeah. That is the article, and it is just, I mean, is that what cringe? Could I call that cringe?
I don't know. People call lots of things cringe. I don't understand it sometimes.
Let's see what you guys have written. 40-year-old vegan. Years ago, the job I had was called Humane Transport Inspector. They quickly changed it to Animal Transport Inspector. Why? Because even the feds knew then that humane was BS.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What is what does an animal transport inspector do? Is that like
probably
when
inspecting the trucks or something?
Inspecting the trucks when they arrive at the slaughterhouse or at various points on the journey?
Loaded, maybe?
Okay. Yeah, the flesh of a fruit can be called meat, Denkono. Absolutely. We can. The fact is, consumers can call things. There isn't a dictatorship on words. We can call it even if they banned the word milk for like oat milk, we'd still call it oat milk. Well, whatever. Even if the market can't. Let's see, so Anna Maxa says, so you believe in incrementalism in government policy, but not incrementalism in individuals ethically. Is that hypocritical?
I don't think we've ever said we don't believe in incrementalism in individuals ethically. We've just said that if you knowingly and willingly exploit animals in some fashion, and it's needless, then you really can't call yourself 90% vegan or like 80% vegan, because there is no such, you're either vegan or you're not vegan.
Yeah.
But we recognize that people's ethics do change incrementally, and we encourage that, but that's not the end goal. But we are not inconsistent, because that's also our goal for government policy. Mm-hmm. We know that government policies will happen incrementally, but our end goal is a vegan world.
Yeah, even though we wish they didn't happen incrementally.
Yeah, we wish we could go vegan overnight. We're not going to. The world's not going to go vegan overnight, unfortunately.
Let's see. Yeah, Chris Crowder. So far, this is making me want to do some shots to dull the pain. Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for really listening and being on this journey of discovery, because this was such a what do you call it? When something's like challenging to the mind. Is there a name for that?
Challenging to the mind?
Yeah, like this was like such a it was such a heavy read.
A headache?
No, like it's not that intellectual. Mm-hmm. Like there's like you said before, level 0 arguments.
It's not mentally challenging.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Benjamin that's so random.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of animals have been documented as being homosexual or having tendencies. Sure, that's... Sorry, Scott Gerstein. 3 months. 3 months, yeah, because carnists tend to be constipated. That's a joke. Sorry, just reading your guys' comments. We read all of them.
There, she's clarifying it there.
Oh, where? Oh, hypocritical. Oh, no. Oh, 40-year-old vegan, thanks for answering our question. Arrival at the death house. Oh, so you were at the slaughterhouse when the trucks arrived. Mm-hmm. The inspectors only inspect at the slaughterhouse, so the trucks would come in and I would count dead on arrivals.
Deaths on arrival, yeah.
Deaths on arrival.
Mm-hmm. And Anna Maxa says, okay.
Yeah. So, if the death on arrivals were high, it would spark me to investigate notes, pictures, necropsy. Then the uppers would decide if it went to court. I only went to court 2 times in 15 years. Wow.
I'm pretty sure that, I don't know this for a fact, but I would imagine at the vigils that we attended, which were numerous, spread out over 18 months, we saw so many dead animals on all the slaughter trucks.
Especially chickens. And no one really pays attention to, even vegans, because it became such the norm to see dead chickens on a truck that it was just normal.
No.
But if you ever saw a dead pig on a truck, I can't say I saw very many. I saw dying pigs.
Dying pigs, for sure.
One time I remember a pig died. We weren't there that day, I don't think, but a pig had a heart attack and died, and someone filmed it. But, cows also. But the thing is now, a lot of these trucks coming in from the Midwest, they have to cross Death Valley. You know how hot Death Valley gets?
No.
How freaking hot it is here in California.
In a steel box.
In a steel box. And not just that, the drastic change in temperature from like early morning to midday to night again. Like you're going through like a space of 12 hours, you're maybe hitting 3 different temperature points. Like, it's been 60s in the mornings now, 60 degrees. And then at around midday, it gets up to like 90. It's 95 right now outside in Los Angeles, 95. And then it drops back down again at 10 o'clock. It's like back to 60s. So these animals are enduring all these temperature changes. Not uncommon that they would be dehydrated or suffer from heat exhaustion, or in the winter die from cold, especially chickens. Chickens are so sensitive to temperature. I know people like to keep them outside, and maybe they have the appropriate enclosures for them and whatnot, but we don't. Our kids live inside with us, and we bring them out early in the morning and late at night because their optimal temperature cannot really exceed 75. They can be in hot and warmer temperatures and in colder temperatures, but their bodies don't like it too much.
No.
And that comes from a book called, what's it called? Chicken Health?
Chicken Health Handbook?
Yeah, the Chicken Health Handbook, written by a non-vegan. So
I can probably expand this now, right?
Yeah, you can.
Nope, that's the article.
There we go. Thank you for sitting through that with us.
Well, what I was gonna say was
I'm gonna put him in the chair. Yeah, because my right arm.
I think we can wrap up.
We always say that, and then it's 20 minutes. But
no, we can wrap up. I was just gonna say I'm pretty sure that that farmers, like having seen the number of dead animals that we've seen on slaughter trucks, I would imagine that farmers work that in. Like they know, okay, a certain number of animals are gonna die in transport. And I'm sure slaughter facilities assume a certain number of animals are going to die. And then that's probably just baked into the numbers.
No, Sunny Shine 45, any way to air condition the trucks? They have air holes.
Yeah, why would they do that?
No, they have air holes. They, I don't know if you've seen slaughter trucks, but they're usually metal, and they have holes so that there is air ventilation. And chickens are just placed in or thrown into crates. Let's see.
Here, we can go back to this.
40-year-old vegan says, hundreds of investigations and nothing done. Many in the hundreds, a large amount in the thousands. All horrific. They get heart attacks at 6 weeks old, freeze in the winter. Yeah, for those of you just joining us, the 40-year-old vegan used to be an animal transport inspector, so he is sharing his knowledge with us. We would love. We should do a conversation. What do you call? Not a debate in this case, but have a conversation with
bring them on,
the 40-year-old vegan, and because we would love to hear about your experiences.
Yeah.
He says they changed the ventilation on trucks, however, that costs money. They don't care because they own the animal food companies.
Like the frozen food. No, yeah. Sunny Shine 45. They're just not going to pay to refrigerate a truck to keep animals comfortable on their way to be killed. It's just not going to happen. But then Benjamin says, is killing a potbelly pig for meat considered animal abuse? And
we're assuming you're being intellectually dishonest, right?
And Sunnyshine 45 says, no, if you can do it quick and precise enough. Which is like...
Wait, who said?
Sunnyshine 45. It's, I mean, killing an animal for the purpose of eating the animal's corpse is always animal abuse.
All this time I thought Sunnyshine was, maybe I've been reading your messages. Okay.
Ben Kono says, Antonio looks so content.
Yeah, he is. He's like in total relax mode.
My boy.
He's like in total relax mode. Because I've been stroking him down here where he likes it. And so that's why you guys have only been seeing like the top of his head because he's like bent over like this.
My boy.
We're going to give you treats after this, okay? Yeah. He's so good. He like never poops on me. He waits till I put him in his chair.
Yeah, Sunnyshine says, Benjamin, animal abuse is slow death. No, Sunnyshine. No. Animal abuse is animal abuse.
Yeah.
Abuse. Let's go back to the definition. To use something to bad effect or for a bad purpose, to treat a person or animal with cruelty or violence, especially regularly or repeatedly. So I can't think of a more violent act than to kill someone against their will.
Yeah.
So that's abuse.
Doesn't matter how you kill. I mean, does it matter?
Of the abuse.
That would be a replace the victim or replace the oppressor in this case. What about a person who murders someone else? Oh, well, I did it via gunshot to the head. They didn't realize
it. Shot in the back of the head. They just didn't even notice.
They didn't even notice. They felt no pain. I mean,
it's pretty abusive. Oh, Benjamin is saying, I meant animal abuse in the law. Like, could you get in trouble for killing a potbelly pig? Probably not.
For food?
Probably not, because unfortunately in our society, pigs are considered food.
Oh, I misunderstood. Okay, so you were being genuine. Oh, okay, in the law. Sorry. I don't know. I mean, because pigs are also on that weird gray area where I feel like if someone did that to a dog, it would be an instant felony, or a cat.
Yeah.
But pigs, rabbits, they're still like some are pets, some are not. So I honestly don't know. I don't know.
Benjamin says he doesn't.
Potbellies are not usually, I mean, I don't know, because people, why would you want, that is an answer, I don't know.
I mean, if I had to guess, I would say probably
not.
That would not be illegal.
No.
I had to guess. And Benjamin says he doesn't kill pigs. That's good, Benjamin.
No, glad.
Yeah, you want to wrap it up? I think it's been over 90 minutes. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alrighty,
Let's
guys.
Wrap it up.
We'll wrap it up.
Thank you so much for your donations to Antonio.
Yes, thank you. We've got $41.96 so far, Bubby.
Yay!
How about that?
That's so.
How about I know, that's very good.
Thank you, guys.
We'll do a couple more of these. Okay.
So we hope you found this insightful. I mean, I hope, because I know the article wasn't, but we tried. We tried.
We're going to try to do maybe more of these like live responses.
Yeah. If we find something that's worth responding to.
Because we like live streaming, but sometimes when you stream, you don't have a subject material. It just kind of ends up being like, hey, what's up? All right. But when you have something to go back to, I think it helps sort of guide the conversation a little bit. So, yeah. What is it?
No, I'm just making sure that I haven't missed anything from you guys. Okay. Well, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.
See you in the next video, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, lastly, a really huge thank you to everyone who donated in today's chat and to all of our regular Patreon patrons.
Yes.
And if you guys like what we do, if you get some sort of value out of our channel, you want to become a Patreon patron for 1 month, even if it's just for 1 month, and then you cancel after that, all donations are welcome.
Thank
Right,
you.
Bobby?
Say bye, Bobby. Say bye, Antonio.
Say bye-bye, Antonio.
Oh, goodbye. Say goodbye. I'm going to get blueberry treats now.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Bye.
Bye.